around the Northwest. Now, the second series of Moving West is on Wednesday nights on TG Cahir, and it puts a spotlight on counties along the west coast: Kerry, Galway, Mayo, Sligo and Donegal. And there's also a special episode on the islands, and it's about the lives of people or families who have moved or are in the process of moving to a new home along the Atlantic coast. It's presented by Mary Kennedy, the nicest woman on TV. And Mary joined... you are, Mary, in fairness. Is there anything that annoys you ever?
Oh, you'd want to see me now. I sort out the house after the weekend. I'm like a whirling dervish.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, your persona on the TV, anyhow, if there's anything that does annoy you from time to time, you hide it well, that's all I'll say.
Well, I have to say, I love what I do, and I loved all of the work that I did on Nationwide and other programmes on RTE, but I can't believe how lucky I am to have been given this programme to present. Like last summer and this summer we recorded Series 1 and Series 2, and everybody seems to take something from it, John. And I have to say, first of all, I love showcasing Ireland. And my goodness, you've got a fabulous place up there in Donegal, and we were blessed with the weather. Okay. Both times, actually, when we went to do the west coast of Donegal, and also when we went back to do our half our island programme on Aaron Moore. But it's just lovely to meet the people, and people are so welcoming.
But you've got good stories to tell for the most part. That's the great thing about it. It's nice experiences. It's people who've made the move, and it's worked out for them.
Absolutely. Well, for instance, in our Donegal programme, which is going out on Wednesday night, there's people who are fans of Fair City will recognise Caroline Harvey, and she played Farah Phelan in the series. And then when her contract ended, she went up to Bundoran and took lessons to be a surfing instructor. And she's settled there now with her partner. She's about to give birth in the programme, but just to let everybody know that since then she had a lovely little girl called Maggie. So she has two children, very settled, feels that it's the place to bring up her children. And there's also two people from Cathal O'Gallagher, who is originally from Gertrude, and he was living in Dublin and has moved back with his wife and baby. And also we have Sinead McGee, who was in Sydney in Australia, and she's back now and living in Gweedore and doing the same job she was doing, John, but doing it from the hub. You know, which they're fab. They are really game changers when it comes to people being able to do their work and live. And another family then who moved up from Ballyfermot, which is near where I'm from in Dublin myself, in Clondalkin, and they're living in Brinlack, and he has a gorgeous copper craft. Actually, he was in Showcase there last weekend in Dublin. So things are going very well for them. And I also feel that those stories, if people are kind of watching and thinking about it, they're positive, messages that go out. And these are people who've made a choice about work-life balance, and I think a lot of us are thinking those ways after the pandemic.
Well, it's not just Donegal that features obviously in the programme, and from your experience of the last series and this one, what are the big things that make a difference? What is it that they're happiest about overall? Well,
I think, as I just said, having very good broadband has to be a factor. You have to have that. So people tend to settle in places like that. But there are hubs all over the West Coast, and the service is excellent. And the other thing, the factor that makes a huge difference for a lot of people is family. Cathal came back. Well, he found the city a little bit oppressive and just kind of overwhelming, and is now living back where he's from. In fact, living next door to where he grew up and working in Glenveigh National Park. So it's about lifestyle, John, and it's just lovely. It's lovely to see people who they're not kind of rushing around and chasing their tails the whole time, and they open their doors and they're looking at gorgeous landscapes and seascapes. There's a sense of community. I went up to film there, and I was staying in the Waterfront Hotel. And I arrived very late the night I was coming, and the night porter there was helping me to park. He says, "You've got a rattle in your engine," and he said, "Now tomorrow morning I'll get on to Martin." I don't know what Martin's second name was, but Martin came, took my car, fixed it, and brought it back. And he wouldn't take any money. Now that's the kind of people that you meet when you go down the country or up to Donegal or anywhere along the west coast.
But the thing is, Mary, the thing is, if you weren't so nice on the TV, you see, Martin mightn't have done that.
But I mean, everyone is nice on TV. I just find it lovely. But I really, it's no chore to me, John, because I really relish it. And we've a lovely team as well, and it's a small team. It's a small independent company based in Kildare called Dundara TV and Media. And, you know, everybody is nice. People are nice to us, and we're nice to them. But it'd be a shame not to be.
Yeah, yes, absolutely, and I think I mentioned earlier that it does help that people are so positive because their experiences have been so good, and whether it's moving from east to west or moving from another part of the world and coming here to Donegal, or as you said, coming back to Donegal, because if you're born and raised here, or if you're born and raised in the country, there's always a bit of a calling. It's a bit different if you're. And I suppose it's enlightening to see people moving from a city, maybe born and raised in a city, and they decide to take the leap and they move up to Donegal, and it's a more rural setting, and it works for them.
Yeah, well, that's the case, really, I suppose, with Neil and Jackie Ferry, the couple from Ballyfermot who moved up with their 3 daughters. And now, Neil's dad was from Brunlack. Actually, we got a chance to chat with Neil, Neil's dad, because he was there as well. But Neil used to spend his summer holidays there as a boy, and they went up and said they'd give it a try. They tried it for 3 months, and then came back to Dublin and said, "Nah, definitely, for the sake of the girls and for our life, really, this is where we would like to be. We'd like to move to Donegal." Now, that takes courage. Yes, it really does.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you mentioned people that are born there. I'm a city person, and people often ask me, "Well, would you do it?" And I mean, also my sister lives on the Aran Islands, and I wouldn't, because my family is all around me here. So I do think there's a pull, like with Cahill and his family moving back to Gertahurk. It's nice. It's nice, and I think as a people, family is important to us, and I'd hate us to lose that. So it's very uplifting to be able to tell the stories of people who maybe just make the move for the sake of family, for the sake of the quality of life that they want their children to have, like Caroline Harvey, who moved to Bundoran and has 2 little children now, and she feels that the openness and the freedom of life in Donegal is what she would like for those 2 little ones. And that's her motivating factor. And Irish people, it's about their families and doing the best for them. And it's lovely that that's now possible because of all of the facilities that are there. And fair play to TG Cahir for showcasing them. They're, 2 years in a row. Yeah. And who's to say there could be another one?
Yeah, well, fingers crossed, absolutely. I'm sure there's plenty of other other examples out there.
There's such interesting stories. They're so different. Like our Kerry programme last week was different again, totally different stories, but like a woman with a Native American background living in Dingle and running a pub with her husband, children from Ukraine settling in Cahersiveen. We have different stories and different highlights in every programme, and it's a gorgeous way to see the lovely parts of Ireland that we have.
Well, to see the experiences.
Another reason to be proud of being Irish.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, to see the experiences of some people who have made the move to Donegal, we can check it out this Wednesday. It's Moving West on TG Cahir at 8:30. Mary Kennedy, thank you very much for joining us.
Not at all, you're very welcome. Gurumila Malgut.